Well, g'day everyone. Deb and I are really excited. We're planning a 3-month trip across Australia. We're going to be travelling from South Coast, New South Wales, all the way over to South Coast, WA. We're leaving Whyalla, and I expect we're going to do about 6,000 k's all the way over to Perth. We'll be travelling through country New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, across the Nullarbor, which is something that I've always wanted to do. And then from there, we're going down to the bottom of WA. We're driving through places like Esperance, Albany, Margaret River, Denmark, Busselton and Scarborough, where we'll be staying for a month. And then we'll be doing a return journey, 1 month to get over, 1 month staying in Scarborough and 1 month to get back. And a month to get back, we'll probably stop at all the places in between that we've missed, or maybe even places that we really liked on the way over. So if you're planning to drive across Australia, or even if you're planning to drive a motorhome across the Nullarbor, stay tuned, because I'll show you all the stops and I'll be taking lots of footage showing off all the beautiful places that we stop along. All right, let's get started. Well, today's the day. We are off New South Wales coast to WA coast. The van, she's packed. The bike's on the back. Now let's look inside the cab. I just wanted to show you. There's the economy section, and there's another economy seat over the other side. And here is our business class section. This is Spencer's seat. She's got extra padding. She's up front. He can look out the window. We've got our Starlink all set up. But yeah, this is our business class section. He's got an attendant either side of him that gives him tummy rubs. And underneath there we've got our Bluetti system all set up and ready to go, that will be charging as we're driving. So yeah, we're all packed and raring to go. Okay, Spencer's got a lot of toys, but we've had a good talk and he's decided to take 2 of his best mates with him, and that's Ropey and Squeak. They're coming along the journey too. Alright, first stop is actually Whyalla Blowhole Cafe, Diggy's, which is it probably takes a good 10 minutes to get there, but we're going to have some brekkie there and then continue on to our first destination, which will be Temora, and I think that's about 4 hours and 15 minutes, so stick around for the ride. Temora Caravan Park is right opposite Temora Airport. Very, very quiet this night. Before we head off, we're going to go and have a look at the Air Museum in Temora. Definitely worth a look. And they also have a lovely little cafe there where we're going to go and grab ourselves a bacon and egg roll and wash that down with a cup of coffee. Actually, it was very interesting walking around the Temora Aircraft Museum. A lot of these aircrafts are from World War II and beyond. Absolutely immaculate condition, and the workers out here do a fantastic job. Yeah, definitely worth a look if you're out this way. Here we are at Deniliquin. This is stop number 2. We're right on the Murray River. You can see it just down here. Lovely. It's nice and cool. It's only, I think it's the high 20s here today. Here's our nearest neighbour. Nice little bushland setting. Yeah, we changed our destination. We changed our stops. We were going to go to Balranald and then Mildura. We stayed at my cousin's house last night, and he said he flies, and as you fly over the borderline, he said Victoria, all the land in Victoria looks lush and green, whereas all the land in New South Wales is a bit dry and barren and brown. So we decided to go the green way. Yeah, so here we are. This is Deniliquin. I haven't been here before. So Deniliquin, and I think tomorrow we're heading to Swan Hill. Next stop, Swan Hill. And we're going to the little cafe which was #1 on TripAdvisor called Spoons. On the Murray. We've just entered Victoria, and this is the little cafe that we're at called Spoons. This is Swan Hill, Big 4. Parasites are right on the river there. Nice park, very neat. Little cabins in the back. And there's the reception just here. Yeah, it's a very nice little spot. Okay, so we've just entered South Australia. I saw the sign welcoming us into South Australia, half a k up the road. And then there's this quarantine bay. There's those yellow quarantine bins over there. We've got to get rid of all our fruit and veggies. And there's lists on either side. So I think we've got bananas and mangoes in the van. We're going to try and eat them, and the ones that we can't eat we'll be chucking in the quarantine bin. So this is Renmark. It was about 4 hours drive from Swan Hill. It's a beautiful little place. We were lucky enough to get a waterfront powered site right on the river. A lovely little spot. There's Deb just relaxing in the recliner chair. I didn't show any footage, but the town itself is actually about a kilometre up the road and is absolutely beautiful too. It's a very neat and tidy little country town. Highly recommended if you're doing this trip. It was a lovely, clear, calm day, so I thought it's time to get the drone up and have a bit of a look from above. Whenever I get the chance, I always send the little drone up just to have a bit of a look around, see what's around, see how far we are from town and what's around us. From Renmark, we decided to head down to the Barossa Valley, go to a few wineries, do a bit of wine tasting and have a couple of nice lunches and dinners. Barossa Valley did not disappoint. Some lovely old wineries and buildings and nice little tours. Every winery had plenty of parking and there was always room for our little motorhome. There we go. The beauty of this little van is I can park in a regular car space while Deb nips into the shops to get our supplies. We are in Brighton Beach, Adelaide. Looks very nice. And we're going to make our way up to a big jetty up there and then a cafe just around the corner. There's my little mate. He's just marking his territory. And we are off to the beach this morning to check out what's going on. The beautiful thing here is that the sun rises behind me. West is straight out in front of me, so you don't get the glary sun. We get the beautiful sunsets here in Adelaide, and we're just about a kilometre south of the big jetty. The beach here is absolutely magnificent. I didn't think Adelaide was this nice. I never knew anything about this coastline, but this little southern end is absolutely beautiful. I'll turn it around. Check that out. I think it's time to get the drone up and have a bit of a squiz from above. This is the first time I've ever actually been to Adelaide in my life. I always thought up until now that Adelaide was just a big busy city. I never thought it'd have nice beaches or anything really worth looking at, but I was wrong. This is Adelaide Beach, Brighton Beach. I'm out on the Adelaide jetty looking back towards our little motorhome there in the distance, and it's absolutely beautiful. We will probably always come back through Adelaide again whenever we're heading over to WA. It's definitely worth visiting. The water's absolutely beautiful. There's a nice bike and walkway all along the beach. Plenty of cafes, plenty of bars, and a really nice spot to spend a couple of days. And there's a cycleway that goes all the way along the coast. We've just ridden 5k's so far from South Brighton Beach. There's a cycleway right on the beaches. And there's always something happening on the beaches. There's some volleyball courts behind us. And there's Deb behind me. We're so glad we bought the bikes, and so's my mate here. I cannot rate Brighton Beach, Adelaide highly enough. We had a lot to do there. It was a beautiful place. We had the weather on our side. We originally stopped off just to have a coffee break, a 1 hour coffee break, but ended up staying overnight. Unfortunately for us, we didn't get any accommodation, so we had to find a free camp using our Wikicamps app and stay around the corner. Both days we were lucky enough to park right on the beach, and we got to enjoy the beautiful cafes which were right on the water as well. I think on our next trip over this way we'll definitely be booking Brighton Beach, Adelaide for about 3 or 4 nights to enjoy everything Adelaide's got to offer. Well, we left Adelaide and drove just over 4 hours to get here to Whyalla. Unfortunately, it's blowing an absolute gale. It's a little bit too unpleasant to go for a walk. We decided not to stop at Port Augusta and push on that extra hour to Whyalla, just to make us that little bit closer for tomorrow heading to Port Lincoln. We're hoping the wind will calm down because we want to go up to that jetty up at the end there. It's a big roundabout on the water, just to check that out. But at this stage, it's just too windy to get out there. So we'll chill in the van for now, probably just read our books and maybe go for a walk first thing in the morning if the wind's died down. Even though I don't touch the bikes while we're away, I still always give the bike rack a check. Check all the little straps are still nice and tight. Chain's on good and nothing's out of place. Even though the weather wasn't great, we still managed to wake up in the morning and go for a walk up to the jetty and have a look around just to see what's out and about in Whyalla. Okay, so this is Tumby Bay. We're about half an hour short of Port Lincoln, but we thought we'd stop here and check it out. We read a few really nice reviews here. There's a nice big jetty that we're going to walk out on in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I've just grabbed a coffee here, also threw down some eggs on toast. We thought we'd stop here on our way to Port Lincoln just to check out. We've heard so many nice reports about this little spot, Tumby Bay. Lovely big jetty over there. We're going to go for a walk there later on. Yeah, definitely a nice little spot. We're not staying here tonight, but we'll probably stay here again on our return journey. In fact, that's what I said. This is the town of Tumby. And what I like about this little place, just doing a bit of a circle of the main street, is the fact that it looks original. It looks like this place hasn't changed in about 40 years. All the original buildings, and I mean that in a good way. It reminds me of the sort of shops you'd walk into when I was a kid. We left Tumby Bay and drove to Port Lincoln, which was just over half an hour and around 50 k's. And I can tell you, Port Lincoln did not disappoint. It's a beautiful spot. Better than expected. Okay, so we've only just basically set up at Port Lincoln. We just arrived here about 2 minutes ago. Just a very basic little site. There wasn't much left. But, again, I wish I could zoom in on this GoPro, but the view here is magnificent. Right on the amenities block. We just missed out on the last ensuite site, but you can't complain with a view like this behind us. From the park, it looks like 3.6 kilometres to the town centre. Well, it's a nice walk. Someone's already given up. Fatigue's kicked in, but this coast and the walk along the coast is lovely. 3.5 k's to town, and then there's a marina later on. The 3.5 kilometre walk from the caravan park into town was magnificent. Beautiful little rock pools, lots of little swimming holes, and definitely a spot worth going for a dip. Oh, did you hear that? With a review for the best seafood in Australia.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, isn't it? Hey, we're going to sample. Yes, we've come a long way to sample this food at Port Lincoln. Hey. I'm expecting just around the corner we'll get sight of the big jetty. Oh, the next corner, the big jetty in the town. Okay, this is the end of the 3.5k walk. Beautiful little bay here. We've just gone right through the little industrial area, or the big industrial area. Look at that. Wouldn't want to fall down from there. And there's the Boston Hotel. The bloke back there told us that that's a really good feed. But yeah, there's town, another jetty. You can never have too many jetties. So we're going to go and have a feed somewhere in town. If this is the seafood capital of the country, we're going to hopefully get ourselves some nice seafood. And then we're going to sample the alcoholic beverages at this Boston hotel here. So after each daily walk, we stopped off at this little restaurant. The first day we had pizza and drinks. The second day we had a lovely seafood platter. Both were absolutely beautiful. Good spot for coffee, good spot for lunch and dinner, and nice to have a drink. Port Lincoln kept its good reputation for seafood. We were highly impressed with this little seafood platter. Then off to the Hotel Boston for a few drinks. It's so nice sitting here at the Boston Hotel. Just watching all those little sailing boats racing. Looks like they're all coming in now. It really is a beautiful little spot. Around there where we are at the caravan park, it's a 3.5k walk all around the coast to this little spot, all through the terminal here, but it's so nice. The water's beautiful. Hopefully it's coming up as nice as it is on the camera here as it is in real life. But yeah, I would definitely come back here again. As I mentioned before, this is the Hotel Boston. I'll tell you, there's nothing better than sinking down a glass of red right on the water. How good's this? Hey? Just what we needed. This little coastal track, as well as going along the water's edge, it hugs in and we go through a little forest, which is right beside the water. Nice and cool here, definitely a bit cooler than out there, and as I said before, a very pleasant, easy walk. Looking back on our trip so far, I think both Deb and I agreed that Port Lincoln was probably our most favourite spot so far. The water was beautiful, the town was beautiful, and the seafood was probably the best we've ever had. This is the little beach right in front of the caravan park, lovely little jetty. Every afternoon about 3 o'clock I was coming down here for a dip, right in that little corner just there. The little rock wall protected me from the breeze and the water was absolutely beautiful. Reminds me of one of our little beaches back home in Jervis Bay, crystal clear and a lovely spot for a dip. Even though the Eyre Peninsula is a bit off track, I will definitely come back to Port Lincoln and spend a bit more time here again. So thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Don't forget to click that like button. Please feel free to share and subscribe. Safe travels everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.